Tonight on Y News. Heavy rains raise water levels in major Luzon dams. DPWH reveals that the projects under the 2012 Metro Manila Flood Management Master Plan are yet to be completed. And the Department of Trade and Industry is contemplating on whether to impose moratorium on price hikes. Good evening. The government of Pangasinan has ordered forced evacuation to residents nearby the San Roque Dam. Meanwhile, 6 major roads in the Cordillera region remains closed to motorists following non-stop monsoon rains. Charlie Barredo tells us why.
Torrential rains have prompted the San Roque Dam in Pangasinan to open more radial gates, resulting to the swelling of Agno River. San Roque Dam serves as basin for Binga and Ambuklao dams in Benguet. As of 11 o'clock a.m. on Tuesday, water level in San Roque Dam has reached 287.15 meters, a 2 meter lesser than its critical level of 290 meters. 5 of the dam gates were already open with spilling level that already reached up to 6.5 meters or about 1,379 cms. 2 cities and 11 towns, or a total of 172 barangays affected by the spillage, are now being strictly monitored by the authorities. Residents near the reservoir are also being forced to evacuate. 5 towns in Pampanga province remain flooded as the storm-enhanced southwest monsoon continues to batter most of Luzon. Heavy downpour in recent days has caused high tide and overflowing in Pampanga River, submerging the towns of Macabebe, Masantol, Bacolor, San Fernando, and San Simon. Meanwhile, the provincial government is monitoring the situations in major dikes in Barangay Bagang, Cambasi, Nigwi, Palimpe, Sagrada, and Santa Cruz due to reports that cracks were seen after the Pampanga River burst its banks. 6 major roads in Cordillera remain impassable due to a series of landslides following non-stop rains. These include the Abra Ilocos Norte Road, Nagaparan Danglas Abra Road, Abra Kalinga Road, Governor Bado Dangwan National Road, and Tabuk Banawe Road via Tanudan Barlig Road. Cannon Road in Baguio City has been closed since June 17, 2018. Meanwhile, 3 barangays were isolated by flooding in Abra Province after nearby rivers burst its banks. As of Tuesday, the entire Cordillera region remains under blue alert status, according to the Office of the Civil Defense. Charlie Barredo, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Most of the primary dams situated in Luzon have almost reached its full water level capacity. Ray Pelayo tells us why.
Some major dams in the country have been releasing water to prevent overspills as the storm-intensified southwest monsoon dumped rains in the past few days. Magat Dam in Isabela still has one open gate with an opening of 2 meters to release water that flows in rivers along Ramon, San Mateo, Luna, Aurora, Burgos, Gamu, and Naguilian. The dams of Ambuklao, Binga, and San Roque are also releasing water and may affect the towns of San Nicolas, San Manuel, Asingan, Tayug, Santa Maria, Villa Asis, Bautista, Rosales, Bayambang, and San Manuel.
So ang San Roque nagpapakawala din ng 4 gates, 5 meters ang open, pero controlled to, hindi umaapaw sa kanyang kailugan dito sa Pangasinan.
The gates of other dams including Angat are now closed with its water level at 204.81 meter. Angat Dam is the primary source of water supply for Metro Manila, Bulacan, and Pampanga.
Sa roll curve, medyo tumaas pa siya ng 23 meters. So ibig sabihin, na-meet niyan yung kayang pangailangan.
Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Department of Public Works and Highways reveals that none of the projects under its Flood Management Master Plan for Metro Manila and surrounding provinces has been completed since 2012. Nel Maribok tells us why.
No projects under the Flood Management Master Plan of the Department of Public Works and Highways have been completed since its approval nearly 6 years ago. In an assessment at the Senate on the performance of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority and the DPWH in implementing flood control measures in Metro Manila, the agency reports that only a slight percentage of the 353 billion peso initiative has been implemented.
Mula 2012, after the approval ng master plan, nakaka 14% pa lang po kami na na-allocate na pondo. Hindi pa po yun na-implement lahat.
The agency, however, noted that it still has a lot of time to complete the projects as the master plan runs until 2035. This includes 11 large-scale infrastructure projects such as the Pasig-Marikina River Improvement and dam construction, which cost about 200 billion pesos. The DPWH says the final design of the dam, which will help prevent overflows from Marikina River, will be released before the year ends. The agency sees the slow implementation of flood control projects as the reason for widespread flooding in Metro Manila and other parts of the country. The MMDA, meanwhile, sees the improper garbage disposal as still the primary cause of flooding.
Yung plastic na nagbabara doon sa mga laterals natin.
DPWH also admits difficulty in imposing some of the projects, prompting suggestion to enlist the help of local government units.
Sa ngayon kasi ang hirap po ngayon gumawa ng mga drainage sa Metro Manila dahil sa traffic. Marami hong naabala.
Bakit hindi gamitin yung mga LGUs na pwedeng implementing agency rin po? Para sabay-sabay po na-implement yung project at sabay-sabay pong nararamdaman yung epekto nitong mga flood control projects.
Ang solution siguro coordination o cooperation ng LGU at right implementation of projects. Kailangan serious implementation, seryoso.
Senate Committee on Public Works Chairman Manny Pacquiao, however, is dissatisfied with the explanation of the government agencies. He asked the agencies to submit detailed reports on the status of the flood control projects. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
The Quezon City government sets up temporary shelters called Pop Huts for nearly 1,000 residents in Barangay Bagong Silangan. Bernard Daddies tells us why.
The local government of Quezon City comes up with portable shelters for almost 1,000 individuals displaced by floods brought by days of non-stop rains. The pop hats were deployed by the city government to provide shelter for families staying at the covered court of Barangay Bagong Silangan. The skies have relatively cleared following days of heavy rains in Metro Manila and nearby provinces. The evacuees remain cooped up inside shelters because they are yet to clear their houses after floodwaters have receded.
Ang bubong ko, butas-butas, kasi naabot po ng tubig eh. Pati yung loob namin, pati mga gamit, nabasa po lahat. Pwede po matulungan po kami kahit anong mangyari po. Kahit kunti lang po.
The city government provided 54 pop hats for 300 families. The hats, made up of plastic and steel frame, measures 8 by 9 feet with 2 doors and 2 windows. It is designed to look like a small home which can house up a family.
Ang hirap po kasi pag marami, dikit-dikit kasi kami nung una. Ngayon, medyo safety kami kasi mga bata nakakatulog ng maayos na hindi naman sila nahihirapan din. Kahit medyo mainit, at least safe naman.
Kasama lahat ng traffic, lahat ang mga barangay employers kasi para malaking pagkapasalamat po namin na kahit papaano natulungan kami ng gobyerno para maging safety ang atin mga na mag-evacuate.
The QCity government intends to produce more pop hats that can be used to provide decent shelter for evacuees. Bernard Daddies, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Heavy rains brought by storm-enhanced southwest monsoon affected more than 691,000 individuals or 154,000 families across Luzon. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council reports that of the said number, over 22,000 families are seeking shelter in the evacuation centers, while 14,000 families remained outside the designated centers. The report also shows that the agency has monitored 36 incidents related to the monsoon rains in Cordillera Regions 2 and 4A. The local government units and the Department of Social Welfare and Development has provided assistance amounting to more than 14 million pesos to affected regions. The Department of Trade and Industry is currently contemplating on whether to implement a moratorium on price hikes. Mon Hokson tells us why.
The Department of Trade and Industry has not yet decided on whether to impose price hike moratorium on basic goods, despite requests from manufacturers. The DTI recently released an expanded suggested retail price with several adjustments on the price of canned sardines and meat products, taking into consideration the increase in production cost. This prompted some consumer groups to suggest the implementation of a moratorium on price hikes in basic commodities. The agency welcomes the suggestion. However, the decision still depends on the manufacturers.
Tingnan natin kung paano natin mapapakiusapan ang manufacturers, ang mga negosyo ng canned products, especially yung BNPCs ng DTI. But tingnan natin, we hope that they will cooperate.
According to a study by consumer group Laban Consumer, the prices in DTI's expanded SRP shot up by 70%. Thus, they insist on a moratorium. During a visit with the Department of Agriculture officials in major markets today, they found out that the prices of spices such as onion and garlic mark a staggering increase of 10 pesos to 30 pesos per kilogram. Fish products such as milk fish, galunggong and tilapia also increase in prices by 10 pesos to 60 pesos per kilogram. Retailers say they have no choice but to hike their prices because they only get their products from middlemen.
Siyempre, yung labor ng tao na binayaran mo, papatong dito kasi malulugi naman kung gano'n ang mangyayari.
Castro suggests that DA should also update its SRP on agriculture products for the benefit of the consumers. The DA vows to review its SRP while both agencies promise to continuously monitor market prices of basic goods to protect the rights of consumers. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasig City.
President Rodrigo Duterte is set to take a historical visit to Israel next month. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
President Rodrigo Duterte will fly to Israel this September in a bid to enhance the Philippine-Israel diplomatic ties. According to presidential spokesman Harry Roque, Duterte's visit to Israel will take place from September 2 to 5 and he will be accompanied by a business delegation. He is expected to meet with Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss several issues, including labor, tourism, trade, agriculture, counterterrorism, security, and law enforcement. He will also meet with Israeli President Reuven Rivlin to tackle people-to-people ties and development cooperation. Duterte is also expected to sign agreements with Israel. Roque says the chief executive's upcoming visit is historical since this is the first time that a Philippine president will visit Israel.
The official visit will be the first by a Philippine president since diplomatic ties were established between the two countries 61 years ago in 1957. The historic event will highlight the enduring friendship between Filipinos and Israelis.
Duterte will also meet with the Filipino community in Israel. The chief executive has earlier apologized to Israel for his controversial statements comparing himself to Hitler on his war against drugs in the Philippines. Malacanang is also not worried over reports that some human rights activists in Israel are against the upcoming visit of Duterte.
If they can persuade the Prime Minister to call off the visit, of course, we will call it off.
The cultural ties between Israel and the Philippines is significant because during the administration of then-President Manuel Quezon, the Philippines was one of the few countries that offered place of refuge for Jewish refugees in 1937 to 1941 prior to the World War II. After the president's visit to Israel, President Duterte's delegation will also visit Jordan. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The Members Church of God International visits anew the elderly is being looked after in a facility in Perth, Australia. Nina Bascon tells us why.
A typical day for the elderlies in a care facility in Perth, Australia turned special and fun as they were serenaded and entertained with songs and dances by the members Church of God International. MCGI prepared a musical entertainment program for the elderlies as it visits the Aegis Care Hilton Park in Western Australia for the second time. The upbeat music and singing brought smiles to the faces of the elderlies, with some of them even singing and clapping along.
Brilliant. It was good.
Did you enjoy?
I thoroughly did. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
That's good to hear.
Yes, as long as I'm well.
According to Gia, a fellow Filipino and the facility's clinical manager, activities and visitations such as this usually buoy up the elderly spirits.
Makikita nyo naman na they are very happy and enjoy silang lahat. Every week, meron ditong musical entertainment. Hindi katulad ngayon na lahat sila mostly nag-participate sila sumayaw.
The MCGI routinely visits elder care facilities in different areas to cheer up seniors who are left in other people's watch. This is in support of its leaders' advocacy, Brother Eli Soriano and Kuya Daniel Razon, to help others and to do good for our fellow people.
Napakasaya po sa kalooban na napasaya po namin yung mga matatanda doon po sa elderly people. Isa po ito sa mga advocacy ng dating daan. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa Diyos kasi minsan lang po tayo nagkakaroon ng mga ganong pagkakataon na makapagpasaya po tayo ng mga kapwa.
The facility management hopes the MCGI will continue visiting to bring warmth and happiness to the hearts of the elderlies.
Ang message ko sa MCGI is natutuwa ako at nag-participate kayo dito sa Hilton Park Aegis facility. Sana maulit-ulit and we enjoy.
Nina Bascon, UNTV News and Rescue, Australia.
President Rodrigo Duterte fires another military official, this time the comptroller for the Philippine Military Academy. The chief executive named him as Hector Maranya, who was said to be responsible for the malversation of 50 million pesos worth of cadet funds. Duterte recommends him to be imprisoned for 6 to 12 years. The president also says he is tired of running after corrupt officials and admits he can never solve corruption as well as the problem on illegal drugs even after his term ends. He also reveals wanting to step down from the office to give way for someone better than him, except for Vice President Leni Robredo. He claims Robredo cannot improve on anything and even mentioned how Naga City became a hotbed of shabu in the past years. Customs Commissioner Isidro La Peña contradicts the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency regarding reports on magnetic lifters allegedly found containing shabu in Cavite. Grace Casin tells us why.
Contrary to the claims of Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency Director General Aaron Aquino, Customs Commissioner Isidro La Peña insists that the 4 magnetic lifters found in Cavite last August 10 did not contain traces of shabu. Aquino said in previous interviews that a ton of methamphetamine worth 6.8 billion pesos could have already made its way to Philippine streets after their failure to seize the illegal substance in a warehouse in General Mariano Alvarez in Cavite.
The allegation that 1 ton of shabu is circulating in the market has no basis, Your Honor. Based on the result of the laboratory analysis, both from PDEA and the PNP, 4 magnetic lifters have no presence of dangerous drugs as government authorities. We have to be prudent in providing unverified information to the general public.
But during a hearing at the lower house earlier, PDEA stood by its report that the 4 magnetic lifters found in Cavite were linked to the 2 magnetic lifters found in Manila International Container Port, which carried 500 kilograms of shabu. PDEA cited that the bill of lading it has showing the same address of the goods destination, which the POC contradicted.
Link po sila because of the bill of lading. Because it was indicated dun sa Vicaba Trading yung warehouse, yung address po ng consignee nila is the same. August 9, 2018, In the afternoon, nagpadala po tayo ng K9 natin doon, kasama yung handler. And nag-run through po doon sa mga cylinders. And the K9 responded positively doon sa stimuli, which is to sit down upon smelling yung illegal drugs.
The bill of lading that is in our possession is an official document submitted to us by the shipping line. So this is an official document. And in this document, the bill of lading of Vicaba Trading, the address is stated. So the address stated here is 1st District, Sampaloc. So nowhere in this bill of lading na-mention yung GMA Cavite, Your Honor.
The BOC and PIDEA are set to conduct a case conference to resolve this miscommunication. Grace Casin, UNTV, News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
Malacanang welcomes the dismissal of murder charges against National AntiPoverty Commissioner Liza Maza. A court in Palayan City, Nueva Ecija, citing insufficient evidence, has granted a motion dismissing the case and the arrest warrants against Maza and former Makabayan Congressman Rafael Mariano, Teddy Casino, and Satur Ocampo. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque says Maza can now go back to work.
We're happy that Secretary Liza Maza can come back to work. Now that she has no outstanding warrant of arrest, I suppose she can go back to work.
Aegis Juris Fraternity member Mark Ventura breaks down when he took the witness stand for the trial in the hazing-related death of law student Horacio Acho Castillo. May Bermudez will tell us why.
The Manila Regional Trial Court Branch 20 starts today the trial of Aegis Juris Fraternity members involved in the death of University of Santo Tomas freshman law student Horacio Acho Castillo. According to Acho's mom Carmina Castillo, prosecution witness Mark Anthony Ventura was in tears when he took the witness stand to identify the 10 accused in the hazing-related death of Acho. He also narrated the events from when Acho was first recruited until the day of his initiation rites.
He was emotional, of course. Siyempre, first time niya to testify and to see his grads after the incident. Siyempre, mahirap para sa kanya. Ang sabi niya, pamilya niya yan mga yan. Grads nga, di ba? But he has to tell the truth.
The prosecution panel of the Department of Justice placed Ventura on the witness stand to prove the strong evidence of guilt to keep the accused fratmen in jail. Judge Marivic Balisi Umali of Branch 20 has barred the members of media from entering the court during the trial proper. The lawyers, as well as the Castillos, were also restrained from giving more information to media, citing sub judice. But according to one of the lawyers of the accused, the media has the right to witness the said trial. It can be recalled that the DOJ has turned Ventura as their star witness and gave him Witness Protection Program coverage in exchange of telling all he knows about Thio's death. Last July, all of the accused have entered not guilty plea in the case of violating the anti-hazing law. The next hearing was set on September 4. May Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Employers Confederation of the Philippines vows to regularize more than 300,000 workers this year. The Labor Department, meanwhile, plans to hire more labor law compliance officers. Aiko Miguel tells us why.
The Employers Confederation of the Philippines, or ECOP, has pledged to regularize over 300,000 temps this year in support of President Rodrigo Duterte's bid to end the contractualization scheme. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III shared the good news during an interview in the program Get It Straight with Daniel Razon this morning.
Within this year, they will regularize about 300,000 contractuals.
Okay.
Sabi ko, pag ginawa nyo yan, I will give you meron kayong labor holiday ako.
Okay.
In other words, hindi ko kayo bibisitahin ng mga inspectors ko. But just give me yung 300,000
na irregular ninyo.
Irregular niyo.
To ensure that the employers group will fulfill its commitment, Bello says a memorandum of agreement will be signed between ECOP and DOLE. ECOP serves as an umbrella organization of business community in the country, from small organizations to the private sector. These include the Hotel and Restaurant Association of the Philippines, Chinese-Filipino Businessmen, and the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Members of ECOP also include giant firms like SM Retail Incorporated and the Jollibee Foods Corporation. The labor chief also plans to get more labor law compliance officers to inspect over 800,000 business establishments. Bello admits his existing 584 labor law compliance officers are only able to check on 99,000 of the 900,000 companies since President Duterte issued the order on regularization. But since the Congress is yet to approve their proposed budget for the hiring of additional officers, DOLE is inviting workers to undergo training on their volunteer basis.
Ideally sana kung talagang mapagtibay namin yung aming pag-i-inspect, tama na sa akin muna ng at least 2,500.
Additional?
Additional.
For a start?
Yung mga nurse, sabi namin mag-apply kayo, we will deputize you of your training, and then kayo ang mag-inspect sa mga hospitals.
Bello meanwhile maintains that his conscience is clear amid corruption allegations. He also reiterates he is prepared to resign if the president orders him to do so.
So pagka nawala ka ngayon sa Department of Labor, ibig sabihin naniwala si Presidente?
Naniwala na siya doon.
Dahil hindi ka naman magre-resign?
Awa ng Diyos, hindi pa naman ako tinatawagan ng Presidente.
Okay.
Kasi sabi naman ng Presidente, kahit ng konting suspicion lang na meron kang sasangkutang katiwalian, hindi lang kita tanggalin, papatayin pa kita. Sabi niya, awa ng Diyos, buhay pa ako. Buhay pa ako. Alam ng ating Pangulo kung anong pagkatao ko, Dani.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Malacanang remains confident that the proposed national budget for 2019 will still be enacted despite the suspension of the budget hearing in Congress. The palace is also firm on the use of cash-based budgeting system for the 2019 proposed national budget. Rosalie Cos explains why.
The lower house of Congress has been dubbed a supermajority due to the large number of Solons who are allied to the Duterte administration. But because of the sudden suspension of the budget hearing in the Congress for the 2019 national budget proposal, Malacanang now questions the kind of relationship that the executive branch has with the legislative. Though the Malacanang stresses it is not blaming anyone, the palace admits it has yet to hear anything about the issue from House Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo.
Let's just say, with the budget being rejected by Congress, we don't know what ties we have with the House now. We'd like to think that they continue to be important allies of the President, but apparently the change of leadership has also brought in a different kind of relationship.
For now, the palace regards this as a simple misunderstanding and would let the Congress explain about the issue. But Roque says President Duterte does not believe the Congress will reject the proposed national budget.
As of now, I think he's giving Congress the benefit of the doubt. He does not actually want to accept that for the first time, Congress is not acting on his budget.
Malacanang is also firm on the use of cash-based budgeting system for next year. But if the Congress rejects the proposal, the government will then be forced to have a reenacted budget for 2019. Under the cash-based budgeting system, government agencies will only propose projects that will be funded and implemented within the fiscal year. The Congress has earlier expressed concerns that under this system, the Build, Build, Build program of the Duterte administration will suffer, though the economic managers have said otherwise. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The Department of Energy orders the oil companies to include Euro 2 diesel in their market. Monoxon tells us why.
Oil companies must now offer Euro 2 diesel to their customers. This after the Department of Energy ordered oil companies to include Euro 2 in their retail market anew. Euro 2 is a much cheaper than Euro 4 and Euro 5, which are currently being sold in all gasoline stations. DOE issued the order to help consumers cope with the impact of surging inflation. The Energy Department believes consumers can save up to 30 centavos when using Euro 2 diesel.
Dahil meron tayong mas malaking dapat i-address na problema sa ating ekonomiya na tinatawag nating inflation or mataas na pagtaas ng presyo ng mga basic na bilihin, at isa ang diesel sa pwedeng mag-contribute dito.
All vehicles manufactured 2015 and below are compatible with Euro 2, while vehicles manufactured from 2016 and above are compatible with Euro 4. Euro 2 emits 500 parts per million of sulfur, while Euro 4 emits only 50 ppm. But DOE says that though it allowed the sale of Euro 2, it violates no environmental standards in its implementation. The agency says it is up to the consumers if they will use Euro 2 on their vehicles, as they are only concerned of giving the public more product choices.
Yung standards na nilalabas ng health tsaka ng environment, it's not violative. No? Kasi the Euro 4 fuel is for this engine, this type of engine.
Oil companies responded positively with the order, but the transport group opposed it.
Anong ginawa ng DOE? Hindi pinabalikan din sa inilulugmok ulit tayo sa dating sistema. Di ala rin pagbabago pala yan. Itong mga Euro 4, ang baba nila ng presyo para maging ka-affordable sa ating transport group.
DOE is also pushing for the importation of oil products from other countries such as Russia as one of the options to lower fuel prices. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Some road experts are expressing fear over the possible rise of unauthorized for-hire or colorum vehicles once the Metro Manila Development Authority implements its revived high-occupancy vehicle scheme along EDSA. Joan Nano tells us why.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority will kick off its dry run on Wednesday for the proposed re-implementation of the high-occupancy vehicle policy in EDSA. Under the scheme, vehicles that are only carrying drivers will not be allowed to ply along EDSA during rush hours. But some road experts say the policy is not effective in addressing traffic congestion in EDSA. Dr. Primitivo Cal of the University of the Philippines Planning and Development Research Foundation says the scheme might even increase the number of unauthorized for-hire or colorum vehicles. He argues that it is better for the government to beef up the development of the mass transportation system first before imposing HOV lanes.
Maiipit yung used to be traveling, no, nag-isa. So ngayon, ano yung alternative nila? Basically, yun dapat ang pagtuunan sana. I-improve yung mass transit system along EDSA, lalo na yung MRT3. Dapat bigyan ng priority na ma-improve yung capacity, ma-improve yung level of service.
Another road expert also believes that the concept of HOV lanes is effective in addressing traffic congestion but is not applicable in EDSA.
Kasi EDSA by itself has so many entry and exit point. So kung may sakay akong nag-qualify ako sa pagpasok, 4 ang pasahero ko, binaba ko siya, parang carpooling, no? Binaba ko yung isa, 2, paglampas ko sa show, nag-iisa na lang ako. Puhulihin ba ako doon?
The Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board meanwhile supports the proposed policy. But LTFRB Chairman Martin Delgra clarifies that they will only allow the concept of carpooling but not the idea of making it as a business.
Napag carpooling yan, no? Strictly carpooling. No? Ibig sabihin, hindi kayo nag-aabag ng mga panggasolina or pamasahe, for that matter, yung sinasabi nyong por ulo, hindi mangyayari yan pag talagang carpooling ito.
The LTFRB also warns those who will take advantage of the HOV lane policy by operating colorum vehicles. The dry run of the HOV policy will begin at 7 to 10 in the morning and will resume at 6 to 9 in the evening. Joanna, UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
Aspiring singers from southern Luzon give their best shot in Wish Covery audition in Cavite. Leslie Longbowen tells us why.
Today, we witnessed wonderful performances from another batch of singing hopefuls as Wish 1075 brings the Wish Covery auditions here in the historical capital of the Philippines, the province of Cavite.
traveled for almost 2 hours from Binyan, Laguna to reach the audition venue in Bacoor, Cavite.
Siyempre, sulit na sulit. Wish yan eh.
Meanwhile, a wisher who is used to joining singing competitions tried her luck in wishcovery.
Ikaw na lang ang isang kulang sa buhay ko nito. Pangarap ko ang ibigin mo.
Actress Angelica de la Cruz was also an interpreter in the A Song of Praise or ASOP Year 6.
Gusto rin ni Papsi ko, tsaka makatry ulit. Kasi since bata ako talagang sumasali ako eh.
The auditionees also include 19-year-old Rica Peñafiel. She is among those who represented the Philippines in the World Championships of Performing Arts or WICOPA in 2017.
Kung ako na lang sana ang iyong minahal, di ka na muling luluhapan.
Kasi mahilig po akong manood ng mga ng mga wish exclusive videos. Gusto ko pong ma-experience yung pagkanta sa Wish Bus.
Plethora, a new talent of Breakthrough and Milestones Productions International or BMPI, also shared their talent as one of Wishcovery's special guests. Leslie Lomboan, UNTV News and Rescue, Bacoor, Cavite.